couple weeks ago, I did an episode about the music industry being possibly similar to how the film festival system works. And it got me thinking about a lot of things. I got a lot of responses about how it's a cool idea or a bad idea, and people's experiences and how things actually work. And that got me thinking about other alternative methods to getting music out to the world. And that got me thinking about how manga, Japanese comics, how that system works, and how every I should say, there are many magazines that exist, and each week or month or whatever period, these magazines come out, and they have a bunch of individual issues or chapters of the manga or comic inside of it. And they come out each week. They have polls inside them where the community can vote on which ones they like. They can talk about their favorite characters. Sometimes the authors will leave notes and do interviews, and there's just so many things and so interesting about how that works. And what happens is it's in the magazine. It does however many chapters it does, and then it eventually comes out in what's called a volume, which then houses multiple chapters in one book. And then you can buy the individual book. As I look at that and think about it in the same way as music, the idea that multiple weekly or monthly periodic compilation albums can exist that maybe represent a specific genre of music, specific audience of music, specific mood, music for a specific crowd, a specific taste, and how that idea of releasing something weekly, incubating artists without necessarily owning what they're up to and having them participate in this sort of network system where they can put out music, and then as either enough songs are released through it or the popularity reaches a certain point, then they release a project. It's a lot like how playlists are now and how singles are now, but I think we've gotten away from the idea that like creating these spaces where music can live and thrive and be talked about and be experienced, they kind of disappeared. If you think about magazines and how magazines, I mean, they still exist, but like how magazines really cater to specific audiences and really make sure that they're talking to that audience and not trying to talk to audiences outside of it. I think the democratization of music has really put everyone in this position where they feel like they're trying to talk to everyone when we'd be better off trying to talk to specific groups of people. In that magazine manga volume pipeline, there's also a possibility of anime becoming a thing. I think it's important to note that manga alone is a complete work. Manga does not require anime in order to succeed. Um, and I think music in some ways has this next step, right? If you release an album, maybe the anime version is going on tour. And then from there, you're able to take the work and take it on the road or sell more merchandise, do things like that. And the magazines will often just be licensing the work. You'll be um, selling a license to your comic, your manga, a license to the merchandise, a license to whatever. And just thinking about all these ideas of how we can bring people together, bring people into certain places and have them really focus on a specific thing in that place. It's kind of a lost art. I did an episode a long time ago about Earth Gang making a Discord server, and I was talking about how there's this potential future where Discord servers exist that are focused on genres of music or groups of people, and then you would go from that Discord server into a smaller one. So, if you were into experimental rap, for instance, you would join an experimental rap Discord server, and then maybe you join the JPEG Mafia like server or chat, or you join their old sweatshirt server or chat, and you all start in the same place because you all have this similar broad interest. I think we're missing out on a lot of places that have similar broad interests. Even if you're like into fashion, it's hard to find I'm into fashion but only into streetwear. I'm into fashion but I'm only into high fashion. I'm into fashion but I'm only into avant-garde fashion. I'm into fashion but I'm only into Rick Owens. Whatever. I think we're losing a lot of that sauce. And I feel like we've got to get back to that sauce, especially in music where things are so fragmented and it's so hard to find who's putting out what and where and how and learn about new artists and learn about the artists that you do like, learn more about them and learn when they're putting stuff out or what they're doing or the tours they're going on. I think it really helps all parties involved. Um, Reminds me of how like kids would get signed out of the Kenny Beats Discord server because Kenny Beats was this basically. I'm interested in how things will continue to go. I'm a participant during the Worst Generation Dark Force. Um, Our new song this week. It's been great to imagine these things with you. I'll catch you next week.